What if one of the dollar coins sitting in your collection right now is worth thousands of dollars? Some ordinary-looking coins can become extremely interesting when the date, mint mark, condition, error, or variety comes into play. So before you spend one, check it closely. Our first coin is the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar, one of the most recognizable small-size dollar coins ever produced in the United States. The 1979 issue is especially interesting to collectors because different varieties and production characteristics can make certain examples much more desirable than ordinary circulated pieces. One of the first things you should check is the mint mark, followed by the overall condition of the coin. Look carefully at the date, lettering, rim, and design details. Coins with unusual characteristics, strong preservation, recognized varieties, or significant errors can attract much more attention than common examples. In the right combination of rarity, condition, and collector demand, an exceptional 1979 Anthony dollar can potentially enter the $2,000 plus conversation. Although the actual value depends on authentication, grade, variety, and current market demand. So don't judge this 1979 dollar by appearance alone. Check the details before you spend it. Now we move to the 2000 P Sacagawea dollar, the first-year issue of the famous Sacagawea dollar series. This is a fascinating coin because 2000 marked the beginning of a completely new dollar design, featuring Sacagawea on the obverse and a soaring eagle on the reverse. The P mint mark indicates that this coin was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. Millions of these dollars were made, so not every 2000 P Sacagawea dollar is rare. But collectors pay close attention to unusual varieties, mint errors, exceptional condition, and coins with characteristics that separate them from ordinary examples. Look carefully at the date, mint mark, lettering, edge, surfaces, and overall strike. A truly significant error or rare variety can dramatically change the story of an otherwise ordinary-looking dollar. Depending on the exact variety, condition, authentication, and market demand, an exceptional example could potentially reach $2,000, $3,000, or even more in extraordinary circumstances. So if you have a 2000 P Sacagawea dollar, don't automatically assume it's just worth $1. The details could be the real story. Next comes the 1980 Susan B. Anthony dollar. By 1980, the Anthony dollar had already become a familiar part of the modern American coinage story. But that doesn't mean every example is identical in collector interest. Your job is to inspect this coin carefully. Start with the mint mark, then examine the surfaces and overall condition. Look for strong detail, unusual characteristics, possible errors, and anything that makes the coin different from a standard example. A heavily circulated coin may have relatively modest collector interest, while a highly preserved or genuinely scarce variety can tell a completely different story. This is why collectors never rely on the date alone. In exceptional circumstances, coins with significant varieties or major errors can potentially move into the thousands of dollars range, with high-end possibilities around $3,000 or more, depending on authentication and market demand. That does not mean every 1980 Anthony dollar is worth thousands. It means the right coin can be dramatically different from ordinary examples. So inspect yours closely, because the mint mark and condition may matter more than you think. Now let's jump forward to the 2010 P Sacagawea dollar. At first glance, this may look like a modern dollar with very little mystery. But collectors know that modern coins can still become interesting when errors, varieties, unusual strikes, or exceptional preservation are involved. The P indicates Philadelphia, and by 2010 the reverse design of the Sacagawea dollar had changed to the Native American-themed reverse program, making the series particularly interesting to collectors who study the details year by year. When examining your 2010 P coin, pay attention to the date, mint mark, lettering, edge, strike quality, and any unusual characteristics. Ordinary examples don't command spectacular prices, but a genuinely rare and authenticated error or variety can be a completely different story.
In exceptional circumstances, high-end examples can potentially reach the $2,000 to $3,000 range or beyond,
depending on what makes the coin special. So don't dismiss a modern dollar simply because it looks new. Sometimes the smallest abnormal detail creates the biggest collector interest. Our fifth coin takes us back to 1979, the first year of the Susan B. Anthony dollar. And this is one date you should always inspect carefully. The 1979 issue is famous among collectors for its different varieties and mint mark characteristics, meaning two coins carrying the exact same year can have very different levels of collector interest. Look closely at the mint mark and compare the design details, especially around the lettering and overall appearance. Condition is also critical. A heavily worn Anthony dollar is a very different collectible from a sharply preserved example with strong original surfaces. If you discover a recognized variety, major error, or exceptionally desirable high-grade coin, the value can rise dramatically. In a best-case collector scenario, exceptional pieces could potentially enter the $3,000 to $4,000 range or potentially higher. But that depends entirely on authentication, rarity, grade, and actual market sales. So if you've got a 1979 Anthony dollar sitting somewhere, don't throw it into a pile of ordinary change. Give it a serious inspection first. Finally, we have the 2001 P Sacagawea dollar. This coin belongs to the early years of the Sacagawea series, making it an interesting piece for collectors who follow the development of this modern dollar. The Philadelphia P mint mark is one of the first things to check, but it certainly isn't the only thing that matters. Examine the coin under good lighting and look carefully for unusual strikes, errors, die characteristics, missing details, doubling, or other abnormalities. Then evaluate the condition. A normal circulated 2001 P dollar isn't automatically a rare treasure, but an authenticated variety or major mint error can completely change its collector appeal. In exceptional circumstances, coins with the right combination of rarity, condition, and demand could potentially reach $4,000 or more. That's why experienced collectors don't simply ask, "What year is this?" They ask, "What exactly is different about this coin?" So before you spend your 2001 P Sacagawea dollar, take a closer look. You might discover something worth investigating. And there you have 6 Susan B. Anthony and Sacagawea dollars that deserve a second look. Remember, the date alone doesn't make a coin rare. Mint marks, varieties, errors, condition, authentication, and collector demand can completely change the value. So check your dollar coins carefully, compare them with trusted references, and never clean a potentially valuable coin. If you enjoyed this hunt for hidden treasures, like the video, subscribe to Minted Million Coins, and comment below which dollar coin you found in your collection. Disclaimer: this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. The potential values mentioned are examples of high-end possibilities and are not guaranteed market prices. Actual coin values can vary significantly based on rarity, mint mark, variety, mint error, condition, certification, auction results, collector demand, and other factors. A coin should be professionally authenticated and graded before making any buying or selling decision.